I'm Dr. Clark Stevens. I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee, and this is my wife, Elizabeth. My story began with my general practitioner saying, hey, your PSA levels are rising, and get over to the urologist and figure out what's going on. So I went to the urologist and they did a blind biopsy and the ultrasound biopsy, which came back positive for cancer.
I think hearing a diagnosis of cancer, at first it was very surreal. It puts you in a place of not even being able to really grasp what the implications are in that moment other than fear. And having to all of a sudden face that fear, which you know is reality, and then try to discern and figure out what your very next step is.
My first stop in this journey was urology, and their recommendation was, well, just take out the prostate. And we asked, what about having a scan to see if it's contained or if it's outside? And we were basically just told, hey, take it out, then you don't have to worry about cancer. So, you know, sometimes the guy wearing the white coat, you just sort of go along with what he says. And we're not those kind of people. We're gonna question and research and look into things, but it was so tempting to do what they were telling us to do. So we ended up going across town to the best radiology folks in town, and they had a completely different recommendation for us. And then we were caught between, well, which option? And neither option was gonna be helpful for us. For example, with having the prostate removed and the complications with sexuality, with impotence, and then urinary incontinence, and I didn't want to go to the gym and wet on myself in the gym, as it were. And so, but the other option, having a radiation treatment, there's the risk of cancers popping up 5 to 10 years out, the Hiroshima effect. And so we were really stuck between these two different worlds, thinking those were our only options. We had read the little book about 100 answers for questions about prostate cancer. But really no option. We didn't like any of the options that the book mentioned, for example, because of the side effects, regardless of what treatment. Well, one of the things that happened is I happened to call a friend in Knoxville. I just mentioned to him, hey, pray for me, I have to make this decision. And he said, hold on a minute, have you heard about the Busch Center in Alpharetta? Never heard about the Busch Center. Well, tell me about it. He said, well, I'll tell you what, my neighbors who were treated at the Busch Center, they have nothing but amazing things to say. He had prostate cancer, he got treated there. It was during COVID, so it was like, how do we get together? So we ended up sitting on their back porch the next weekend, hearing all about the amazing services and the TULSA procedure at the Busch Center.
That was a game changer.
It really was.
All of a sudden, for me, I saw hope and breath just like come back after having looked at that book of 100 questions and answers and all the things that it brought up. All of a sudden I had life back into him, and he was excited because he was excited about what he had heard as a testimony of this other gentleman's experience. Like, there's other things out there.